And you're listening to Greek Speak on WSYC 88.7 FM at Shippensburg, Pennsylvania from Shippensburg University. It is currently 81 degrees and cloudy outside on this Friday, September 26, 2025. Today's high is 83 degrees, and I think it's a low of 61. So thank you all for joining us again for another week of Greek Speak. And this week we have joining us is from the Delta Zeta sorority. This is our second Delta Zeta sister that has joined us this year. It is Izzy Kemp. So first off, as far as Izzy is concerned, she is a junior at Shippensburg University studying psychology with a minor in criminal justice. So she has served a number of positions in Delta Zeta in the past, including Ways and Means, Panhandle Delegate, and right now she is the recruitment chair. She is working for the housing and residence life here at Shippensburg University's campus, and she wanted to join a sororities ever since she was a junior in high school, and she enjoys the community atmosphere that comes with Greek life here on this campus. Izzy, welcome to the show, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Luke.
All right, so I have to ask right away. So the question I always ask everybody is, why did you join Greek life, and how did this interest come about junior year of high school?
So I wanted to join Greek life because at home I have such a close-knit group of girls, and I wanted that same exact thing when I came to Shippensburg. And from my school, we had a lot of other people go to Ship, and I heard about it, and they joined Greek life. So wanting to do it since junior year, that's kind of what I looked for going to college as well, was a nice education, a nice community within Greek life, and that's what Shippensburg provided for me.
That's outstanding. And how did you end up coming to Shippensburg, too?
I knew they had my major first was criminal justice. I knew they had an amazing criminal justice program. And so I decided to go here. I visited it twice, and it's a good distance from home, too, where it's not too far. I only live an hour and 45 away. So it's not too far where I can't go home for the weekend and see my family and my friends.
So whenever you talk about your friends and they said that they were into, they joined Greek life and they were obviously a couple years older than you, I would assume, at least. Where did they go to school? Were they like similar here? Were they going to public school? Were they going, were they in SEC schools, for example? Because obviously those are notorious for sororities. Like,
I had some of my friends went up to Penn State and joined sororities there. I actually had some Ty Yerger, the old president of PSK. Yes, I went to school with him. So I saw him join Greek life and stuff like that, and it was just really nice. And I reached out to them about it, and they told me like it's an amazing one-time experience, and I should definitely go for it.
For sure, it's kind of different. I know we've definitely a mixed bag on this show where you'll hear people, they'll say, "Well, I just stumbled into Greek life, didn't know it was my calling at all, and then just happened to take me in." And some, in your case, I think you're the first one I've ever had on the show where you said like with years in advance that you knew you wanted to do it. So that's good. You're able to explore that interest, but. How did it go whenever you were looking for a sorority to join here at Shippensburg? I know COB is often a topic we talk about. How did that process work out?
So I went through recruitment my second semester for my freshman year. So it was formal recruitment. So my first semester, I had sororities already reaching out to me, talking about the coffee dates, about like the COB, and like how I just meet with them and talk with them. And then I went through the actual recruitment. But when I went through, it was semi-formal. So it wasn't fully formal. And semi-formal, it was a week-long process. And you meet with you meet with 3 sororities each day, and you had to meet with one at least. And when I went through, there were 6 sororities. And so at the end, you would rank them, and they would rank you like usual. And then our bid day was on that Sunday.
Who does like the arrangements whenever you talk about like they rank you, you rank them? Who's selecting?
So it's kind of confusing that way. So we as a sorority will rank the girls, and the girls will rank us as a sorority. So it goes back and forth, and it's kind of like matching. Okay. And then we have like Panhandle that will do the rankings and stuff like that and look at the matching and tell us who we got.
Okay. Did you want Delta Zeta from the beginning?
I did too. I actually got my roommate and my best friend to go through recruitment because they were really hesitant on it, and I was like, guys, like this is something we're doing. It's gonna be so much fun. So we went through it. My top 2 were Delta Zeta and APhi, and I went through it and I just connected more with DZ. I do actually still have a lot of friends in Alpha Phi. I love them all. I think it's an amazing organization too. But I just connected way more with DZ, and when I walked into that room, I just felt like I knew those girls for my whole entire life, and they were my sisters already.
Well, I'm glad that was your number one, because that would have been embarrassing about one on this show if that wasn't the case on a public airwave. If you said no, they were actually my number 5. Like, well, at least we got that established.
Yes, Delta Zeta was my number 1.
So with all that said, though, so you joined Delta Zeta. What was your new member experience like?
It was absolutely, I loved it. I went through with 9 girls, so there was for Shippensburg University, that is a pretty big number for sororities. Usually it's kind of more like 5 or 6. So having 9 girls was a lot.
Yeah.
And our process is all educational. So we take quizzes and we just learn about our family lines and our philanthropy, which is a big part about us. And we kind of just all went through it together, and I got really close with all my new member sisters, and it was just an amazing experience through it. Because I learned so much about Delta Zeta, and I learned so much about my sisters and everything about that. I just love.
Yeah, that would have been spring 24, I think, right? Yeah,
correct.
that was the same semester I became a new member down at Kemp Segment. It sounded very similar. That sounded about the extent of what we had done, and it was 15 actually. That was one of our largest ever.
Insane.
That was a monster class, for sure. So, yeah, no, that's great to hear. So you get involved in the sorority. You said, I know Ways and Means was one of the. What does that mean exactly? I should know what it means. Like I know intuitively, I think what it means, but define it for everybody.
I know different organizations have different names for positions. So Ways and Means for Delta Zeta it's the fundraising chair for our chapter specifically. So
how the money moves around.
Yes.
Okay.
So any money that like we raise for events, like when we have like Pi at DZ, any money we raise from that will go to us as a chapter, and that helps us get money off our apparel and stuff like that.
That makes total sense. That's exactly what it is in the federal government too. Ways and Means, where the money's going. Okay. Yep. Thanks for clarifying for everybody. And then, so how is that role? Because I mean, I tell you, obviously financial management, it's such a crucial role, but it's one that is thankless and also annoying, I'd say, at the same time. And, especially if you're not like a money-oriented person. Like, I don't know if like you were playing Monopoly at age 6 or whatever. Like, I don't know if that was you, but like, how did you adapt to that role?
So our VP of finance really, really helped me with that. So we would have to like go do, I don't know, most people might not know like the money orders. So like once you make all the money, you would have to go to like a local like Walmart. Like I would go to Walmart now to get a money order, and our VP of finance would like code that check or something like that, kind of VP of finance stuff, but they really, really helped with that money stuff. And then they would put the money towards the apparel and be like, hey girls, we got this much money off this shirt, so it's cheaper for everyone else.
So basically purchase X corresponds with code Y.
Yes.
And then
Correct.
Yep. Do balance the spreadsheets and do the calculations from there. Okay.
Yep.
So how long were you in Ways and Means?
It was only a semester.
Only a semester. And then where did you transition to?
I was VP of Recruitment.
VP of Recruitment. Okay, well, we talked a lot about you getting recruited, so how was that?
It was very exciting. I would say VP of Recruitment is very challenging, but it is very rewarding.
Yes.
Like very, very rewarding. And usually for like executive board, I don't know how you guys do it, but usually you have to wait a whole entire year to be on it, like be in the chapter fully to be on your executive board. I was only in the chapter for a full semester before I got on executive board.
Yeah.
So
for us, you cannot serve on it until you're no longer a newly initiated brother.
Yes.
So it's a full semester, so it's not a year in that case. But okay, so you do recruitment then. So how many people did you recruit? Like
I have it for 2 semesters. So I had it for spring, and we recruited 7 girls.
Awesome.
And then we just had COB, and we just recruited 2 girls a week ago.
2 girls. Okay, nice. Yeah, different sizes, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's what I realize, especially we've had larger classes, we've had smaller classes at Kappa Sigma. It really doesn't matter. I mean, it's about the people you get. You're searching for. We talk about this so many times on the show. You're searching for quality, not necessarily quantity.
Yes,
if quantity comes with it, great. But if not, totally fine too. Whatever happens, happens. So, are you looking to run for an executive board position? Because I know Luke and Andrew will love to talk to you about that in this moment.
So I am looking to run maybe president, or we have our programs chair, which they watch over all the other chair positions and help them. And I think those both would be super duper rewarding, and just being able to help, especially programs. I feel like being able to help the new girls that are going through it and are confused on that chair position. When you know a lot about them, you can help them through that process.
Yeah, and so much of being on an executive board position, relies on your ability to build relationships with the people that you're serving, the people your sisters that you're with. But I guess I want to tie that into your professional aspirations. So, what do you want to do long term with your life? Like whenever you graduate, you mentioned psych, criminal justice. What's the plan? So
my plan is I want to be a therapist for cops because of all the mental health within like police stations and stuff like that. Everyone always thinks about like the victims or everything like that, but they don't think about the other side of it and how many cops actually do commit suicide. So I think it's just a very, again, rewarding job for that. And a lot of police stations don't really have much of that stuff right now. but I think that within the next few years there will be a lot more within it because mental health is becoming a bigger thing today.
How did you get that passion to do that? Like, how did you get that in sort of? I mean, that's obviously it's a noble cause, and I think that's something. But like, how did you get the inspiration to think this is a career that I want to do?
So actually, I was sitting in my criminal justice class, and we were watching a little like movie, and it was more talking about victims with mental health and how they help them. Like if they have someone like on the side of a bridge, how a cop goes and helps them and like calms the situation down. And there was one part in it where they were showing a little presentation, and they showed like 3 cops within the last 5 years that committed suicide at that station, and that kind of like hit hard for me when I was watching it. And they were talking about like places to help them and mental health and therapists, and I was like, I feel like that'd be a really cool job. And then our school, which is amazing, provide an activities fair for criminal justice, and they have a bunch of people come down from like stations like Ocean City, Maryland was here once.
Oh wow.
And yeah,
I'm sure they had some stories.
Oh, they had some stories. You're correct about that one.
Wow.
And they were I was talking to them about it, and some of them said like they were starting to get in their like station a place to help cops that are struggling with PTSD, or they went through a situation, because sometimes being a cop, and like especially like this might be a little harsh, but like your first like kill when you like have to do something out in the field, it might be really hard on someone. They don't really notice that, and they kind of just look at the other side of it and not the person that did it, and no one wants to do that. So it was hard for that person. So
and so much of serving it on like the front line and in emergency services is, you know, this is something my dad talks candidly about. He's a part of the fire service, but he says that whenever an emergency strikes, your first job is to almost look past the sort of the dramatics and the emotional aspect of it. And you have to take care of that later, because your first aspect is to handle the situation. You know, lives are at risk. You know, people are in danger. You yourself are in danger in some cases. And the first thing you got to do is control the situation. And then afterward is when that emotional toll just probably takes over and consumes. That's great to hear. I never heard of like this sort of investment that's happening internally in law enforcement. It's great to hear that, especially because I know like there is a declining trend in law enforcement, you know, as far as, you know, people taking those positions. So to know that those resources exist, I hope is an enticer for somebody.
Yes.
So that's a great role. Did you even know that was like, you mentioned like watching the film, but did you know that was a career that even be available?
No, I'll be honest with you, I kind of made it up myself a little bit, and I was like, wait, I feel like this would be kind of fun. And like you can be a therapist for a lot of people, and you can start your own practice as well.
Right.
And then I went and talked to some of the people at that activities fair, and they told me like that's amazing. Like I've never heard anyone who wanted to do that, but we're actually starting a mental health unit in our station that I think would be amazing. So
and so much of it, and this is very general because I'm not an expert in the field at all, but I know so much of what therapists, like the problems that they have is they oftentimes just by nature will internalize and kind of take in the problems that other people tell them just because they're very heavy.
Yeah.
And to have the professional wherewithal to, you know, withstand that is, I mean, that's hard for me to imagine. Like I'm a very, like, I communicate my emotions. I'm a little emotionally unpredictable at times. Like that type of stability and that discipline in that career, that's got to be tough. Like, do you think you're ready for that?
Right now, maybe not. But I have to be a therapist, you have to get your master's. So I think once I go through that, and the more I practice, the more I do it, I think it will help me. And also, I'm the kind of person, when I see like the reward, or I see how it's helping people or treating people, it makes me want to do it more. So I think once I see how I'm helping people, I think it will make me want to do it more and be okay with it.
Do you consider yourself a problem solver then, I would say?
Yeah.
Because that's so much, like, I guess, you know, I'm the president of the public relations you know, organization here on campus, and like being involved in Kappa Sigma in a position like PR, where there is a lot of times, you know, it's a heavy position. It's a lot to take on. But like I'm very much a problem solver as far as like I don't like dealing in the dramatics of things as much as I try and look at like, okay, this is the job. We can't let this squirrel that's running around, you know, with its head cut off, like try and catch our eyes. Like you guys stay focused on like the main tasks ahead. So that's that's really good, Izzy, and I think, you know, I wish you the best in that objective, you know. So
appreciate that.
I'm excited. Yeah. So that requires a master's, I would assume.
Yes.
Okay.
Requires like a lot more schools. So wish me luck on that one.
Well, I mean, this is the time in our lives to get educated, you know, because this doesn't, you know, I had a teacher in high school who always said that like college is the best time of your life because you have no serious obligations, and it's the only time in your life as an adult where that's okay. So,
Yes, I agree with that.
Here we are. And yeah, so how has Delta Zeta, I guess, changed your perspective related to your career ambitions? I mean, do you have like lessons from from your sorority experience that have shaped that?
So yes, definitely being with a bunch of girls in one organization, there can be things that happen because girls can be girls, but like you can just see everyone and like the stories you hear from everyone else of what they've gone through too. And like we do have a lot of like girls and a lot of people I know just in general that do go to therapy, and I'm very happy that now it's not really looked bad upon, because I know a couple of years back, like going to therapy, people were like, you need therapy, like that's weird, but now it's like looked upon as like it's a really good thing for you and everyone should go. So like seeing that and hearing the girls' other experience of what they've been through, I think it's definitely helped with me and like being more confident in doing it and being more like, wait, this is something like I want to do. I want to help people.
Well, I'm very much. I mean, this is general, so like not to take it into an extreme to the extremes, but I always say like you can't knock something until you try it.
Yep.
And that's I think the lesson with therapy is, well, if you've never done therapy before, well, and you're struggling, don't dismiss it. Don't blow that off. Try it. Like look into it. And if it's if you find it's not working for you, and it's not going to work immediately, that's therapists universally will say that it's not going to work immediately. But if you just find like that's not what's really helping you, then you explore other avenues. You explore other options. But I very much think that's again, like I said, it's something that you should embrace, and you should at least take the opportunity if you're in need of that type of support. But Izzy, it's been great talking to you, and really enjoyed hearing about like your ambitions. Very in depth here, so I appreciate the time, and we'll get Luke and Andrew in here as well. So, but for now, we'll take a quick little break. Of course, you're listening to Greek Speak on WSYC 88.7 FM from Shippensburg University.
All right. So I know you talked a little bit about it with Rainey, but you're currently holding the VP of recruitment, is that what it is?
Correct.
Within Delta Zeta. So how did that happen? Where did the interest spark for you to kind of take on recruitment and do that side of things?
So when I went through the semi-formal, and then there's COB, continuous open bidding, and that's more coffee dates. And so we, as a chapter, our VP of recruitment would plan these coffee dates with these girls, and we would go on them and we would talk with them. I went on so many of those, and I just fell in love with it. I would talk to those girls, and I knew everything I was speaking about, and the rest of my chapter saw that, and they were all very impressed with it, and they were like, Izzy, like we think you'd be amazing at recruitment. You have amazing people like skills. You know everything about this chapter, and we just think you're very passionate about this, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to recruit new girls because I think recruitment also is very important, because you're recruiting the next chapter of girls who are going to run the chapter at some point. And so you want the chapter to be its best of ability. So recruiting people that will do very well for the chapter is very, very important.
Yeah, it's finding the next generation. And it's finding people, like you said, that can kind of fit the values that your organization is upholding. And as recruitment, I feel like that's extremely important. I know Andrew will probably talk about it as well, but you're kind of the front line to make sure that you're finding the right people for your organization. So it is a super important position. But do you have to get nominated for that? Like, how does that work? How do your elections work? That kind of stuff?
Our elections are for executive board. It's a very long process. So we have the slating committee. So
what is it?
The slating committee.
Okay.
So we have the sophomore, junior, senior slate. So you pick a sophomore representative, junior representative, and then senior representative. And we have our e-board positions like president, VP recruitment, philanthropy programs, and you all split up. And so you pick one person in the chapter that you think would be best for that position. And then we look at them. So let's say the sophomore slate, like all the sophomores come together and like pick one person, and the juniors and seniors. So let's say the sophomore slate picked one girl for president, and the seniors picked that exact girl for president, but the juniors picked a different girl. Then those two girls would go, like not against each other because it's not like a competition like that, would both interview for that position. And then the interview committee, which is the like head of the slate and a member at large, they would interview that girl, and they would decide who would be best for that position. So it's a pretty long process.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. I was not. That is so much different than ours. I don't even know what to say. So
yeah, it's a lot.
I have a lot of questions about that,
Let me hear
actually.
it.
Number one, like, how do you become a member of the slating committee?
So we vote in our chapter and we say, like, out of all the sophomores, who do you think would be best? And we have the, I kind of forget if it's the whole entire chapter or just the sophomores that pick that representative. And then that's how you pick that person to represent for your grade.
Okay. Wow. I guess my next question would be, is the slating committee like a year-round thing, or do they only serve when it comes time for, like, picking the next e-board?
They only serve when it comes time for picking the next e-board position. So I actually I was, like, last year I was a sophomore, so I was a sophomore, like, slate. I was ahead of that, but then I went through some things, I knew I couldn't fully do it to my best of my ability, so I didn't want to do that. So I stepped down and someone else took it up. But so I was supposed to be, like, in the interviews with the girls and stuff like that, and, like, kind of just in charge of the sophomores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's no, for, like, I guess it wouldn't really be an election then, would it? No. So there's no, like, chapter vote for officers, or?
So the chapter vote kind of is what we do when, like, we'll split up into, like, the sophomore, junior, seniors, and then you as that class will talk about who do you think would be best for this position. That's kind of the voting process within that.
Each class gets one vote and they bring it back. Okay.
Yeah, so, like, we'll, like, write on a piece of paper, like, every single e-board position, and then you write one girl's name that you think would be best for it. That's kind of your vote.
Yeah.
Yes, and then we go through the interview with, like, on the interview committee is, like, whoever is in charge of the sophomore, junior, senior, then a member at large, and then also our CCD is also in the interviews as well.
What's CCD?
The woman that overlooks our chapter.
Okay.
Yes. Like the adult.
That's like I said, it's very different than ours. Ours is kind of just you get nominated. If you accept, you run, you give a speech.
Yeah.
The chapter will vote.
So, yeah, we don't give speeches. I know a lot of organizations give speeches. We do not. And, like, that's kind of one thing that's surprising. We don't really give speeches.
Yeah. Sorry to get in this rabbit hole. It's just like, that's the first I've heard of an organization doing it like that. But that sounds like it's
amazing.
Pretty efficient system. I mean,
it
you're
works
definitely
very
going to make
well.
sure that somebody's qualified
Oh,
for the position.
yes. And, like, you can get appointed. Like, I got appointed to recruitment, which means that the sophomore, juniors, and seniors all put me down for VP of recruitment. So I wasn't up against anyone else.
Yeah.
So it was just me running for that position.
That's insane.
Yeah.
But it sounds very efficient. I mean, you talked about it a little bit. What is like the structure of your e-board? So, like, it's president, and then you guys all have vice president.
So it's
something.
it's like VP of blah, blah, blah. So we have, this is going to take me a little bit. I got to look at, like, how we sit in chapter to know who's who. So we have the president, and then we have VP of recruitment. Our VP of recruitment is basically our vice president.
Okay.
But we just don't really have a vice president because all the other ones are, like, vice president of this, the kind of thing. But so we have the president, then VP of recruitment, then VP of programs, then we have the VP of new member ed, and then VP of philanthropy, VP of finance, VP, like, or secretary, and then we also have our risk on our e-board.
So is VP, so who's the secretary, vice?
Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you, I kind of forget because we all just call it secretary.
Okay.
We all just call it secretary, yeah.
I got you. Yeah, that's different for sure, but again, sounds very efficient.
Yes.
What is VP of programs? Like, what do they do?
So programs looks over all the other chair positions.
Okay.
So they're kind of like, we call it like the mom of the chair positions because they're there for when they need help. They go to her. The VP of programs also has like a chapter card that they can load money onto.
Okay.
So if any of those girls need a card to pay for an event or because everyone has their own like budget, so they will help pay. They will give them the card, help them pay for that if they have any questions about their position. And also, we do use like Time Tree. I know most organizations do the help stuff. You will tell the VP of programs what event you have and what time, and they'll put it in the tree for you and stuff like that. And they'll overlook all those positions.
It's pretty much just like a support system.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yes.
That's a pretty cool position. So I'll switch gears a little bit to like your position.
Yeah.
And focus on that. What has being vice president of recruitment taught you? Like, what do you think you can use that in your career for, things like that?
It taught me amazing time management and planning skills, because it is a lot to plan. Like, I don't think people really realize. They kind of think it's like, oh, you just recruit the girls. Like, no, like, I have to come up with everything. I have to come up with our theme. I have to make everything for our theme, because I know some chapters have like the painting, like they have people like on the banner committee and stuff like that, and painting and stuff like that. That's all me.
Ooh, wow.
I'm doing everything. So it helped me with a lot of time management, a lot of planning skills. And it also just helped me with like people skills as well. I feel like over the year I have gotten better with talking with people, just in general, not even about Delta Zeta, but just general stuff. I just got better at talking with people. So I feel like that would definitely help me in my future job.
Yeah, I will say an executive board position completely changes how you view things. I don't know, like, I've gotten a ton more professional just with serving on e-board for, I guess this is my second year, but it teaches you so much. Just one, like you said, how to talk to people, not only within your own chapter, but like externally as well. Like, I am a completely different person professionally from serving on the executive board. So it definitely teaches you a ton. But you said that you talked a little bit about like maybe wanting to move up and run for president or switching positions, stuff, something like that. Is that something that you're like definite on, or like can you serve another term in recruitment? Is that an option?
It is an option. It's just what everyone else thinks is best for the chapter. So like we have like the voting, what everyone else think is best. I honestly would do another term in recruitment. I love recruitment, and like everyone always says, like when you go in the chapter, there's always that one person, like after that year, there's always one person in the chapter that you know will do it. Yeah. Because recruitment is such a niche thing. I think like in my head that not a lot of people could do it, or like they don't want to. So there's always that one person that you see and be like, that's recruitment, and that's who I was, I guess, for the chapter. But like I do like want to hold another position on eBoard, because I think it's just amazing, and I love like being able to help the chapter. So like president, I feel like it'd be amazing. It would be so rewarding, and that's like such a once in a lifetime experience. Being able to say you're a president of a sorority, that is so cool. And also like I know like jobs also love that, because they love knowing you're the president of like an organization and like all the stuff that we do. They absolutely would love that. And also like just being able to be there for everyone and knowing that like a lot of people look up to you, I think is also just very amazing. And knowing that the chapter trusts you with a position like that is just very like special to know.
Yeah, I will say I am obviously the president of Kappa Sigma right now. And it is single-handedly the most rewarding experience I've had in my life so far, just because you're able to give back to something that you're so passionate about, because obviously you wouldn't be in the position if you weren't passionate. And you see, probably the biggest thing for me is seeing all the brothers rally behind a decision I make. That's like super rewarding for me, because I think they see all the time that I put into it, and then they give that right back. So that's
having so many brothers, my gosh.
Yeah, it's an amazing experience. Don't get me wrong. At times it makes you want to pull your hair out. And it is very time consuming, but it is like not even talking about how ready it's going to make me for my career. It's because of all the things that you have to deal with and all the experiences and situations that you learn through. It's unlike anything else. Just like comparatively between when I was treasurer and when I'm president, like I learned so much in how long have we? 5 weeks for the semester?
Yes.
In the 5 weeks already, I've learned more than when I was treasurer. So, like, it teaches you so much just because I think you see everything. And you're able to oversee an organization in its entirety. And another thing is, like, making the final say. That teaches you so much.
Yes.
Because you want to make people happy, but you also want the organization to be at its best. So that's one of the harder parts of it, too. But, so I just went on a ramble there. But yeah, I mean, it sounds like you've got a really good head on your shoulders about what you want to do with president. That's really good that you're thinking about moving up, because it shows obviously that you've liked your time as recruitment and stuff.
I loved it.
But we'll just switch a little bit. What leadership skills have you had to kind of employ with the position? Because I know it's hard to kind of rally the troops. What are some things that you've had to do to kind of get it to, everybody to share your vision?
So it's definitely been a little bit difficult, because when we go through recruitment, definitely like formal, all the girls are like super tired through it, because it's a really long process. Like the last one, it started at like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and ended at 1 a.m. So it's just very exhausting for all the girls. So it's really hard to keep them going. But I kind of just remind them all that, like, these are the future girls in the chapter, this and that. They're going to look up to you. And definitely, like, at the end, I have to be a little bit stern. I'm kind of not a person to be like that. I'm kind of like always jumping off the walls and this and that. But, like, knowing that, like, they know I have that stern side and that very serious side about this. And I just, again, always remind them, like, these are the next girls, the next generation. Like, we really have to put our foot down and make sure that we know who we want and we know what we're doing. Because if we don't, then there's a chance that the chapter could fall. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think that you make a great point. It's kind of like that firm but fair leadership style. And I think that's sums up how I lead as well, because you don't want to have to be firm, but you have to be.
Yes.
But you still, show your chapter that you're going to be fair, you're going to be just, and you're going to do what's best for the chapter, and whatever you have to do to get them there, you're going to do. But I think my time is just about up, so I thank you for having this conversation with me. And we're going to transition over to Andrew Mercier right now.
Thank you, Luke. And Izzy, how's it going? I have a few things I want to talk about. So one thing was, I know it doesn't necessarily relate to recruitment, but I know that it's a big cause for you guys, is your philanthropy.
Yes.
And I just want to ask about the Hoops for Hearing event that you guys held, I believe, last week.
Yes.
What is that event? What's the planning that goes behind it? And, how did it turn out?
So our philanthropy is hearing and speech. So we did Hoops for Hearing for Starkey Hearing Foundation. So they provide hearing aids for people who can't afford them. They help with sign language classes, and they have things all over the world and, like, even Africa, that they help people that are hard of hearing. So our amazing philanthropy chair, Chrissy Weaver, who did an absolutely amazing job, she raised $1,213, and so that all went towards Starkey Hearing Foundation. And it was basically just a bunch of fraternities and that signed up to play basketball against each other, and it was money, I think it was around $5 to have a team, and then we had food there and stuff like that, and we had raffle baskets, and you could come and watch and also pay. And Chrissy also bought a pretty big trophy for whoever won, and Theta Chi won, which was absolutely amazing. But we just raised a lot of money for Starkey so that they could provide hearing aids all over the world.
Yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a shout out on that.
Thank you.
I really wanted to be in attendance, but it was at the same time as the SUTV broadcasts, and I had to be there. I want to put my priorities towards my major.
Yes.
But just know I was a big cheerleader from the sidelines.
Thank you.
Imaginary. But this isn't the first time you guys have done this event, right?
It is one of the first times that I've been in. When I was in was the first time they did it, but I'm pretty sure in the past they have definitely done something like this. I'm not too sure how those turned out, but I'm guessing they probably turned out amazing if we keep doing it.
Yeah, that's definitely something that we're looking to do in terms of events, and this kind of goes back a couple weeks to us hosting our Fun Run for Health that we held in the beginning of September through the Community Free Clinic from Washington County. You're finding these staple events that, you're going to be able to have every year, like the second annual, third annual.
Yeah. And
one that we have, and I'm actually really happy to announce this, is obviously every year we have homecoming here at SHIP, and Kappa Sigma sponsors a dunk tank where we have all of our new members and all of our brothers go in for different time sessions, and we raise money for the event. And this year it's actually mentioned in the homecoming itinerary, and it was mentioned in the summer copy of the Shippensburg magazine.
That is amazing.
So that was really cool to see, our hard work is really paying off. And yeah, that water's cold, but it goes to a great cause, and I couldn't be prouder. And if someone doesn't want to do an extra session, I'll go in there. It's fine. Now, Luke, Rainey, he's not getting in there this year. This guy, one of the most fragile people I've ever met. He broken toe. He comes out. He's like, I think my toes hurt. And I'm like, yeah, Luke, it's going the wrong direction, buddy. But it's a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. But what else do you guys have in terms of philanthropy? Like any big time events planned for the rest of the semester?
So we usually will hold like a paint a turtle event, and so like people will just come and like they'll put like paint and like water and like a water gun. Like you can get swirls for that. We do have a local philanthropy, which is the Cumberland Valley Animal Shelter. So we go twice a month to the animal shelter and we just spend time with the animals. We raise. It is a nonprofit organization, so everything that they get is donated. So we raise money so we can give them treats for the dogs, food for the cats, water, everything like that. Just everything for the animals. And we try, actually one of our Delta Zeta sweethearts actually actually got a dog from the animal shelter.
That's
and it's just
amazing.
absolutely amazing.
I'm not gonna lie, when you said paint a turtle, I was envisioning you guys like bringing real turtles on campus and you paint them up. I don't know why I was thinking that, but I mean that'd be pretty cool. But
That would be pretty
what's the background behind the turtle? I've noticed
it's
it.
our
And I've just
mascot.
never known why.
It's our mascot. Like how every sorority like has like their color mascot, the flower. Yes, the turtle is our mascot.
That's cool. I mean, PSK has the owl.
Yep.
I don't know what we have. I don't think we have anything. I guess we're not special. But philanthropy is something that really stands out to me, and
Yes.
I'm really passionate in it. It's not my position, but I will always donate to a greater
Yeah.
cause. And speaking of a greater cause, that's something that we're also really working on. I mean, this
Yeah.
morning we went out to the Celebration Villa, I believe is what it's called. It's
We
a
did that
retirement.
once.
It's a retirement home right down the road from here, and gave out flowers, thank you cards, and trail mix to different people in the retirement
so
home.
amazing.
I know they really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed going there. That place is huge. I mean, Luke and I
Yeah.
were walking around. I'm like, man, you can get lost in here. But it was a really fun time.
Yeah.
I like seeing their smiles was something that
Mm-hmm.
made really warmed my heart. But obviously, there is a little bit of an elephant in the room here. We actually hold the exact same position. So
Do we?
yes.
I love
And
that.
I as soon as I heard that was your position, I was all excited. I know Luke was all excited the moment you said president. His like bells started going off. That's kind of how he was with treasurer last year. But how you said you got 2 girls this year.
Yes.
How does that necessarily work? Because obviously I know that I think it's based off the biggest sorority.
Yes.
So I believe AFI was not able to take any girls,
They
right?
were not, which is horrible for them because it just sucks in general for not being able to have any girls for a class. I just
So do you
feel
know
for them, yeah.
why? What is that a Shippensburg University rule, a Panhandle United States rule? Like I'm confused on what that is.
I'll be honest, it's also very confusing for me because Panhandle would like give us like a total, and you know how like the difference between quota and total.
Yeah.
So the total that we had for the sororities, because they want all sororities to be even.
Equal,
very
Yeah.
equal, so it's all very the same. So they stopped at a certain number, and they stopped AFI at 24, and so they got capped. And then so DZ was, because we had 22, DZ was able to take only 2 girls.
So you go to match. the
Yes,
24.
pretty sure KBG can only take 1, and so it kind of was like it just like.
Now,
caps at that
how does
total.
it work in terms of spring recruitment? Is that something where you're able to recruit as many girls as you want? Or
No, so we have to have. So it depends on how many girls actually go through recruitment and
Okay.
go through it. Because if there's a lot of girls that go through recruitment that want to be in a sorority, the number will go up. But if the girls keep not wanting to go, the number will go
Right,
down. So
right.
it still stays at a pretty even number for each sorority.
I gotcha. That's always something that has confused me, and it also frustrates me because it's like, I know a lot of people want to be part of Greek life
Yep.
and all that, and also I think Greek life is good here at Shippensburg. I think Delta Zeta is one of the top sororities here in terms of just overall what you guys do for
Yeah.
the community. And then
Thank
I'm
you.
not trying to
Appreciate
tap
that.
not trying to tap us on the back, but
Yeah.
Kappa Sigma and a bunch of other organizations
do
who do
amazing
a lot of
stuff.
great stuff. And,
Yeah.
I really want it to be open to everyone. I just think that it's really weird on how the rules for sororities compared to fraternities
Yes.
is completely different. Like if we wanted to, get 30 new members, we could get 30 new members.
And it's a little frustrating because I feel like it's starting to like kill Greek life a
Yeah.
little bit. And like I know there's so many girls who wanted to COB and wanted to like not even just join Delta Zeta but wanted to meet with us and do this. And I felt so bad because I was like, I can only take 2, and we try not to say the number to P&Ms
right.
because we don't want to scare them. I always just tell them always like you will end up where you're supposed to, and like that will sound so cliche, but it really is the truth.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell them. But it just like sucks because like I met so many amazing girls that wanted to join, and I really only could take
Well,
two.
the thing is, I mean, it goes back to the conversation you had in the beginning, you know, about you having a great relationship with Alpha Phi. Like, yeah, at the end of the day, obviously, you want people to be in your organization.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's better, but it should still bring a smile to your face, you know, being VP of recruitment, to see just people joining Greek
Oh my
life
gosh, I love
in
it.
general.
Yes.
Like, yes, obviously during like Greek week and stuff like that, yeah, we're competitive and we're all, you know, wanting to be the best.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we're all Greek life students, but at the end of, you know, before that, we're all students here at Shippensburg University who are here to obtain a degree and hopefully go into a successful career. But, you know, what would you say are the best things that you've learned from your, you know, your term? You started back in November, correct?
Yes, I started back. Yep.
So
Correct.
what would you say are like some life lessons that you learned? Because I mean, one thing that you said was, you know, you always like to have you usually like to have the attitude of like lollygagging along, like always jumping, you know, and smiling. And then you know you've had to learn the sternness, and
Yes.
that's something that I've really had to learn. And I'm actually in my second term, and my first term that was one of my you know, critiques of myself and critiques towards others from others is I was kind of, you know, I kind of let people walk all over me because I was scared to stand up for myself. And, but, you know, I've had to stand up and become more stern. And yeah, it makes me sad sometimes because it's like, I don't want to be mean, but it's like, I got to do my job. And, you know, people underneath me, I mean, I have numerous chairs, whether it's recruitment, brotherhood, social, you know, I got to lay down the law and be like, this is what we got to do.
Yep.
At the end of the day, we are friends. We're brothers at the end of the day. But right now, you got to listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree.
But, I mean, has there been any, like, you know, times that you've feared stepping up for yourself?
So definitely, like, because again, like in the chapter, like, I guess I'm just like known as like smiling, laughing all the time and stuff like that. And sometimes people may not take you as serious.
Yeah.
But when it's something you're very passionate about and they all see that, they kind of all take it seriously. So at first, it was a little hard because when I did have the position, we went right into formal recruitment, which is a lot bigger than continuous open bidding. So it was kind of hard, but I had the chapter behind me on that. And like when I did speak up, they all would like be quiet and listen to me because they knew how passionate I was about this. And I appreciate that because they all like were behind me with that. But like there was just some points where like again like you're just in a room with a bunch of girls, a bunch of talking, some points where you just have to yell and be like, okay, like this is getting serious, like we have to be quiet, you need to listen to me, because if no one listens to me then it's just not going to work, and this isn't going to turn out how I would want it and how you guys would want it as well. So I need you all to work with me here so it goes very smoothly and we don't have any bumps in the road.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, you definitely, I guarantee you felt this because, you know, you were in a large recruitment class is, you know, you're part of the exec, and then there's definitely members that were part of your class that are not part of the exec who may be your friends, and it's weird. It's weird having to quote unquote boss your friends around. Like obviously, you know, with us we have 58 guys, so like, you know, there's members that I'm a lot closer with compared to others. I mean, obviously we all have a shared love for each other, but you know, you have certain cliques. But it's weird having to be like, no, we can't do that. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But it's definitely something that you learn, and I mean, it sounds cliche, but like joining Kappa Sigma has been the best thing I've ever done in my life because it's just taught me so much, like life lessons, whether it's responsibility or, you know, how to just trust my, you know, instincts.
Yeah.
Like trust and be confident in yourself. Like if you really believe in something, go with it, because the moment that you display that you're not confident in what you're saying, they're going to tear you down because you're very, you know, vulnerable in that situation. But yeah, just being confident in your decisions and, you know, checking with the right people to make sure that, you know, they're on the same page as you. How many members are part of your exec board?
We have 8.
Now, is that something, I feel like I was talking to someone, I don't remember who it was, but is that something that can change depending on size?
So we actually just put our risk management on our exec board. So like that's just brand new there. But it can depend changing on size, but I feel like there's no other executive board positions that we do need. So I feel like it's just going to stay the same no matter the size of our chapter.
No, I think that's very interesting because you're able to fluctuate on, what positions are, on exec, and, certain positions may be more important in some years compared to others. And, I think it's cool being able to fluctuate. Now, we don't have that opportunity, through our ritual, through our organization, through our national headquarters. There is 5 executive members, with being president, vice president, VP of membership development, secretary, and treasurer, and that's it. Now, obviously, your recruitment chair that's underneath me, new member education, like those are very important, and a lot of other organizations are on the executive board, but with our organization, you got to follow the the strict policies. But looking at the time, we got 5:45 here. We're gonna change it up a little bit. I see Rainey getting up. So this last part of this the episode, we are going to shift gears a little bit. You are going to be the one asking us questions.
Amazing.
So think of one question for all 3 of us.
Yep, and thank you so much, Izzy, for having a great episode so far. And of course, just a reminder, you're listening to Greek Speak on WSYC 88.7 FM from Shippensburg University. Izzy, fire away.
Okay, let me think. So, I know that sororities and fraternities have very different how they handle stuff, and I know that Kappa Sig is one of the biggest is the biggest fraternity on campus, and you guys do a lot with that. So what is your favorite thing that you guys do with your philanthropy and the most rewarding to you?
Within the philanthropy, our best part about the philanthropy.
Yes.
Well, I think the Military Heroes campaign we do is outstanding work. It's always been a good way for us to raise funds for them and support those who have sacrificed a lot to ensure that we enjoy the rights and liberties we enjoy today. So there's no overlooking that without any question. But I do think our philanthropic efforts have taken a skyward leap above, I should say, this semester. And it's a lot of it's credit to our scribe, Drew Williams. He's done an outstanding job with the position. And Drew talked about it earlier in the show. It was a fun run for health we had, where we raked in over $2,500 to support uninsured individuals in Washington County, Maryland. So I think there's a limited amount of resources in a fraternity and a sorority, but the more people you have in your organization and the more competent people you have in your organization too, the more resources that you end up accumulating. So that's why something like a fun run was made possible. And it's I say that not to act like it was 25 people who were really working hard in one direction, because 90% of it at least was Drew Williams just taking it under his own apparatuses and just running with it as fast as he could. But again, we recruited somebody who had the qualifications for it. So I'd say just seeing the growth in it from our semester, from this semester, has just been outstanding, and it's something that I'm glad I had an effort in some way, shape, or form. And I think everybody in the chapter who contributed, no matter how small or big, would say the same thing. So really, again, I mean, the growth we've had this semester is what's outstanding about our philanthropy at this point.
Love it.
I mean, yeah, I'll answer it too. I think for me, it hits a little closer for me because I was treasurer and oversaw all the philanthropy efforts and all that stuff. But something that we're doing differently this year is we're donating towards different philanthropies as well, not just our national headquarters assigned philanthropy, because there's such an emphasis on a greater cause, which is our community service, and raising money for different causes. So probably I'd say the most rewarding thing for me is seeing all of the brothers kind of band together to support something that's so much greater than all of us. And then second, see the community do the same thing. Like Rainey talked a little bit about the fun run. That turnout was so tremendous and something that I kind of would never expect. And to think that one of our brothers kind of organized all of that, and to see all of our brothers be so passionate and support Drew Williams in that effort was just remarkable. And that's probably what I would say would be the most rewarding thing, just seeing everybody come together to support something that's just greater than themselves.
Yes.
And I mean, as they were saying, and I know I kind of brought it up earlier, like it really just brings a smile to my face, seeing other people happy and seeing other people, reap the benefits of these things. I mean, it was a simple thing, but like going out and giving these trail mix to people, It meant a lot to me, and being someone that has had family that has had to stay in a retirement home. I've seen what those places are like, and I've seen the ups and downs. But today I gotta credit us, and I want to credit the staff of the villa, because just how they handled it, and it just it shines a light on maybe a negative day, because it's really sad where they are, being there without their families and stuff. So just brought a huge smile on my face, and what we're doing with the greater cause, and just what we're doing as a chapter is, I'm just so proud and so excited for the future, and as I said, so proud to just be a brother.
I'll say one thing that I definitely look up to you guys is how much you guys do with the community. I think it's absolutely amazing, and especially having that many brothers too. You can have so many hands to help, and I just think it's amazing how much you guys do for the community.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Luke, you want to turn her away?
Do you have any more questions for us? We've got a little bit more time. If not, it's totally okay. But do you have any more?
I'll give you one more.
All right.
So there is a bunch of fraternities on campus. What about Kappa Sig sparked your interest and made you want to go Kappa?
I had a fundamental respect for everybody that was in that organization. At a time in my life where things weren't too strong, and I've talked about that verbatim before on the show, but I felt like there was something special about the people that were in the room, and I felt like there was just it was a sixth sense. One of those things I wish I could find the words to better describe it, but there was just this feeling of if this is right for me, it is this organization or it's none at all. So it's very different in a sense. Sororities with COB where you're doing ranked choice. For my perspective, it was I'm going to pursue this. If this place tells me no, I don't want it. Yeah. But hopefully they tell me yes, and that's exactly what happened. So I think it was just knowing that I think the guys knew that I had some issues going on at the time, and I saw them as an avenue that they would support me through those, and hopefully I'd be able to support their organizations in some way on the other end of it too. And I think both have happened. So I would second what has been said so far by everybody on this show, is that the decision to join Greek life was probably one of the better ones I've made throughout my life, and especially at my time at SHIP. So again, it was this chapter only just because I felt something different. I felt something special about the people there.
Switching up the order a little bit here, throwing me off. So it's kind of similar to Luke, but kind of a little different. So I went to a private school, 8 through 12, and in my class, the class of 2022, there was about 45 kids in my class. So you had to get to know people a lot, but I lived in, obviously, a good public school district, so I knew a lot of people there. Michael Burrows is one of those people that I grew up with, good friend. But, I grew up with a tight-knit group of friends that, I hung out with all the time on the weekends. My parents probably didn't like it, but, it was just us playing ping pong. I remember one day, my buddy and I were like, you want to go to Dick's? And we're like, yeah. And I went there and we bought a $250 ping pong table just for fun. Literally, no reason why. We just bought it for fun. But I had that in high school, and I was like, I really wanted that in college. And it was actually right in the beginning of my freshman year at the activities fair. The Kappa Sigma guys were playing football. And I was like, oh, can I play? And they're like, yeah. And then we just got to talking. I remember going over, watching preseason football. I know Luke Hillegass loves this story, so I'm not going to say it. It's a story he's heard about 100 times. But I just really clicked. It just really clicked with me, and it really it reminded me of home. So, that's ultimately why I made the decision with Kappa Sigma. No regrets there.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Izzy, for good questions, number one. And then number two, like I said, we appreciate you being on the show. So I don't know if you have any last remarks you want to say yourself, but again, we appreciate having you.
I appreciate that, Luke. Yep. I appreciate it. This was a very amazing opportunity. I loved all the questions and answering them all.
Like you said, you felt like you were a celebrity.
I felt like I'm on my own little personal podcast.
Yep, you were starstruck. So I'm glad to have you, and thank you for representing DZ so well in the